Thank you, Sam. Hey, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? It is Sunday, about May 20-something, 2020. How y'all doing? We still in quarantine here in Washington, Seattle, Washington, but hopefully that's about to be over soon. From what I understand, I hope really soon. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Lady J Speaks. Listen, it's going to be a power-packed show, and it's going to be amazing. I have an amazing guest on here with me, and so I cannot wait to get into the show. She is one of my followers here on Facebook, and I follow her as well. And I'm a part of a very popular group that she has here on Facebook, and she's going to talk a little bit about that. It's a great group, and I tell you right now, it's called Seattle Naturals. Now, check it out. I find that so funny and ironic at this time because I've had to become natural. Although it looks straight, this is just a good old flat iron, no perm. So it's just really ironic because I never thought I could go natural. So it's just really an inspiration to see that group. She posted a picture the other day with someone afro just blowing in the wind. I thought that was just so original, so refreshing, because I'm telling you, this natural journey is truly a way that you can find how much you really appreciate what you were born with. So I'm learning all of that just from taking my hair from perm to not perm. So it's just a totally different world. Amen. Amen. If you knew that, you'd be saying amen. So check it out, you guys. Today on Lady J Speaks, we're going to be talking about running late. Now, I've been off for the last couple of Sundays because, of course, we have Mother's Day. And then the last Sunday, there was just so much I had to do with school. But now I'm back and I'm continuing the series called Running Late, Left Behind, where we're going to talk about today how sometimes we tend to feel a little like we're running late when it comes to our dreams, when it comes to achieving what we want to achieve. Sometimes it just feels like we're being left out of the party. We see everybody kind of going ahead at the pace as normal, the normal pace that everyone should be. You go to school, you graduate, you go to college, then you achieve your dream, then you get married, then you have children. But for everybody, it doesn't happen like that. And I can tell you, speaking of being a child of the 90s, it didn't happen like that for me. So, I found myself, and this is the reason why God gave me this topic, but this dropped in my spirit because I found that as I got older, sometimes it felt like it just wasn't enough time to achieve everything that I wanted to achieve. And I thought because I didn't do it sequentially like everybody else did, you know what I mean, that I wouldn't be able to do it, or nevertheless do it right. So today we're going to be talking about that, and my guest is going to help me do that. Her name is Dreamy Payne. Now listen, let me tell you a little bit about her. Now, let me say this. First of all, she sent me her picture. I was like, Dreamy, I have to have a picture of you for the poster. And she sent me a picture, and I just absolutely loved her hair. And you're going to get an opportunity to see it here. It's just beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. And so I could just really appreciate that about her. I've seen her comment on some of my posts. She's super vocal. So you guys are going to have plenty to listen to today. I got a lot of great questions I'm going to ask about running late and being left behind. And so she has some great input. We have an opportunity to kind of go back a little bit, back and forth. But most of these questions are going to be totally off the cuff. They're going to be fresh. So we both are just going to have to answer those. And we invite you guys to join in. So please, if you're watching via YouTube or Facebook Live, or perhaps Periscope, you guys comment, ask questions, get involved in the chat. I do know that Dreamy has been in the medical field for 20 plus years. She has 2 adult children. I've already told you guys about the Seattle's Natural group that she has here on Facebook, and please make plans to join that. And I'm going to let her tell you the rest. There's a designing company that she says that she has, but I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. So I don't want to butcher it. So I want to make sure that the integrity of her name is pronounced correctly. So I'm going to bring her on, and we're going to get started, you guys. Hi, Dreamy. There's a little bit delay. Can you hear her?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we
Can
go.
you hear me?
Okay.
Hey, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Can you tell us what's the name of your business? I want to make sure I pronounce it right.
Yes, it's called Fambili Designs, and I got the name from Black Panther, the movie, where the general, she goes into battle. It's a cry of battle, a cry of celebration. It means going forward. So I thought that was kind of fitting for this. It means, go forth, go forward. So that's how I came across the name for my product line.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the product line. We're going to discuss it. I want you to talk more about it again at the end, but tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. So I started off creating earrings. So I'm wearing a pair. So I create earrings, necklaces, and I've started creating things for the home. Like they're mostly like branch sculptures. I paint them. Some of them glow in the dark. They have different functions. It's just kind of tapped into my artistic side. So who knows what's next? But definitely earrings are my passion, though. Ever since I went natural, like the afro and the earrings kind of together. So. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
I love it. I love it because I love a good pair of earrings. I just got finished buying a lot of them. So I'm definitely one that is going to support. I love to support Black-owned woman businesses. So hats off to you. Absolutely. Hats off to you. And I mean that sincerely. Hats off to you for one entrepreneur to another. So let's get into this topic about running late and being left behind. Dreamy, I thought you would be the perfect person to kind of chime in on this because I've seen your comments and they're so bold. You're so sincere and you're so honest. And I was like, you know what? I need that. I need another mind, another brilliant mind, and another set of ears and another thought to come into this discussion. So I know we kind of talked about it a little bit in the messenger, but tell me, what do you think about running late? Like, how does that run for you?
it touches me in a few different ways. I had my children really young. I had two kids by the time I was 19. So that throws off the, social timeline that you're supposed to be on according to, and I just really focused on that. I focused on raising my children. I was kind of in survival mode, not knowing what I wanted to do. I was always kind of a bookworm. I had planned college, the whole college experience. I planned to go into the Navy and do all of these things. But instead, I became a mother.
Wow.
And well, that kind of, it will take your focus. And so that was my life. I was taking care of my children, between relationships. And I did always kind of have a bit of an insecurity about not continuing my education because it was something that I really, really wanted to do. But everything for a reason, everything its time. And now that I'm 40, 40 kind of gives you a different perspective of time, a more realistic perspective of time, but also it's not too late. Right. So.
No, I could totally identify with that because I got pregnant at 16 and my daughter at 17. So I drove in her head and I drove in her mind, go to school, get a good education, go to college. And she did everything right. She went to college right after high school, she got her bachelor's, and then she got her master's. And it was about that time when she was getting her bachelor's, I pushed her to do everything. But I'm still alive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
What about those unachieved dreams? I felt like literally I was running so behind. I was running so low. Everybody was passing me. When I was 20 something or 30 something, and I had this kid, everybody, friends that were graduated with master's degrees. And so it was really intimidating. You know what I mean? To not be the social norm of being this woman that's educated, because at that time I was a welfare mom.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Been through the system. Yep. And there you feel like the statistic. You know what I'm saying? You can get in a rut of feeling like, well, this is it. I'm gonna raise my kids and this is it. But the unique thing about having children younger is that it's not it. They're grown. They're off in the world. They're, living their dreams, and you still, God willing, have, 40, 50 more years, So how will you spend that has been the question for me.
Yeah. So how do you feel like, because I was thinking about this topic, and I was like, why do some people end up running late to their purpose of destiny? And how do they get derailed? Like, what do they get stopped by? And there were so many things that came to mind, like you and I, 2 months pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
That stopped our destiny. What other things stopped you?
I would say
maybe derail.
Right. I would say more than anything, even more than being a young mom, I would say fear is probably the biggest thing. Insecurity is just another form of fear. And just not, knowing what to do when you're so young, you're still growing up and you're trying to grow up other humans, but mostly fear, because I see women that inspire me so much, and they have younger children, and they're in school, they're getting their degrees, and so for me, it was, fear was a big thing, questioning myself, doubting myself, kind of falling into, the teenage mom stigma. But yeah, it's inspiring to see women around me able to, in addition to the things that should have derailed them, whether it's children, whether it's an illness, whether it's abusive relationships, poverty, they are able to rise and make a way. And sometimes I have to catch myself regretting, I should have did that, but again, everything in its time. And being able to witness that in other people helps me on my journey now.
Yes, I totally agree. You know, I was thinking about the regret, you know, and it's so crazy because being a woman that also am in my 40s, right? And I just think about how much self-agency the generation has now. You know, they have so much support, so much push from technology, right? So much where we in the 90s, late 80s, mid 80s, we didn't have that.
Right.
You know, and it almost creates this competition between generations sometimes because we're trying to learn. They already know. They don't know what we know. We don't know necessarily what they know. And, you know, the generations don't always talk. So I think that one thing that we can stand to learn from one another and we can stand to learn from them is that it's never too early or it's never too late to catch up.
Right.
You know, it's just we're really late, we're left behind. But guess what? You can catch up.
Right.
You know, and I know sometimes
social media has helped me personally connect with people, because it's so funny because my kids are adults. I have a son that's 24 and my daughter's 23, and you know, you can be in mom mode with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's hard to transition from mom to adults, you know, but social media, have conversations with people, you know, I can't say kids, you know, people of my age, and I learn a lot from them. It actually helps me with my relationship with my children as adults, you know, but I learn a lot from people. They are so much more self-aware, you know, as far as their emotional health and mental health and communicating those needs. Whereas like us, you know, 80s and 90s, even that's not that long ago, but in that time frame or in that context, we didn't talk about therapy and the things that would have helped us get through the fear of reaching certain goals and attempting certain things in life.
Yeah.
So I appreciate social media for that, but you know, some things you just have to live through experience. And my pastor, when I went to Pentecostal Covenant, I remember him saying something that to my son as a young guy that I took away. When you get information or advice or experiences that people are sharing, even if you don't understand them in that moment, put it in your back pocket because it's going to come up in life for you to use later, you know? So I think that's a good thing for the different generations to take from each other. If you don't understand it now, hold on to it, ask, because it's going to propel you forward in the future.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that right now where we are, we're in this amazing place where we can speak to one another because we can teach them what they're going to need as they go forward. You know, the Word of God says that youth is great, but wisdom cements you and it grounds you, right? So they need that leading and that prompting. And this is just like, they don't have to run late. You know, they don't have to necessarily do what you and I did, get pregnant, then discover that school should have been the first priority and getting your education should have been the priority. And I think that's also why I have such a passion for our age range, that 35 to 55. Because I think that sometimes we've really been forgotten about, and we've forgotten that we still have value and that we are very much still a resource.
Yes. I've heard a lot of Black women specifically say in that age frame, feeling invisible, you know, and it's like, once you've raised children, you know, even as married, even if you do everything the right way, your life is kind of over, like your usefulness, you know, you're done, you know, and it's like, no, there's a lot left, you know, to do beyond, you know, once your kids grow up or even with them in the house. There's a lot, there is a lot of value, and we deserve to be heard, and we deserve to be seen, and we deserve a place at the table.
No, I totally agree with that. The place at the table is such an important comment because I think it's something that we forget that we deserve. You talked about Black women feeling invisible. And let's talk about not just the women who maybe didn't do it traditionally, like you and I did, but what about, like you brought up something, the women who did, that did go to school, that did go get the education, that married the husband and had the kids. And now everyone is getting older and they're like, what the heck? And where did time go? And what am I going to do with my time?
Right.
And there's been no investment in them.
Right.
So now, so how do they maneuver that? So when we come back, I want you to talk about that. We're going to take a commercial really quickly, and then we're going to come right back. And I want you to just kind of talk about that a few minutes about what is it like? Like, even if you do it the traditional way, then what? What do you think is the next step? So we're going to answer that. You guys, so we're going to come back. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys. We are back. So then you're going to answer, like, how do you think is the first step in moving forward? Someone is feeling like, hey, it's too late. I can't achieve what I want to achieve. How do you feel like it is to move forward? What's the first step?
I think, well, the first step for me is to really take time for yourself. Be selfish, basically. Take time for yourself to really think about what you want to do. It doesn't even really have to be in that context. What's next, but just take time for yourself. Daydream. Honestly, that's where my, Fan Billy came from, just daydreaming. What's the thing that I love? Ooh, I'm going to make earrings. Ooh, I'm going to, and then it kind of gives you purpose because your mental space is so filled up with work, children, relationships, community, church, and it's hard sometimes to just sit without guilt and just sit and think about what you like, what you enjoy, what you want to do. So I think that's the first step, just to tap into those dreams, the things that, you may have not done since you started a career or became a parent, or just new things that have opened up, in your life that you want to focus on. I would say that would be the first step. Just give yourself time to process and think about the things that you enjoy and dream about the things that you want to do. And then definitely start implementing. Make a plan, make a list, connect with people, But yeah, I think the first step is to really just tap into yourself and know yourself and love on yourself, so that you invest in your family and your work. Invest that in yourself, and it'll come. It'll just pour out of you.
I agree with you. I was thinking about moving forward, and some of the things I wrote is definitely try something. You know, sometimes people get so stuck with everything having to be so perfect. Just try
Right.
something. If you feel like, hey, I'm running behind, or some people, even at 40 something, they haven't really discovered what they love or what is their passion, what makes them go. And I'm just inviting people to try something. Take a stab at it. Take a stab at it. Take the first step and just try it. Give yourself a timeline, 30 to 60 days, and try it. See how you feel. Do you wake up feeling burdened, or do you wake up feeling like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I can't wait to do this. Like, it's breath. Like, the look you put on your face, Brittany, when you talk about earrings, it's like, oh my God, I love it.
Right.
I think that people don't give enough credit to just simply trying something. Write 2 or 3 things down and try something. Don't get stuck, because we get stuck so often. But I think what happens is the word you brought up earlier, when you actually said a good word just now. You brought up regret earlier, and then you talked about guilt just now. How powerful of a role has guilt and regret played in your life?
Regret to me is just another aspect of fear.
Yes.
And it's like quicksand, like you can get into this mind frame of, oh, that's too late. Somebody could say something that triggers that in you, or, and when we get caught up in that, and, oh, I wish, and you don't value the time that you have to actually do those things. It's a limitation. It's a mental and spiritual limitation that we put on ourselves. And there are some things that you may not be able to go back and try again. On the flip side of being a young mother that didn't go to college, there's the women that went to college and did all the right things, quote unquote, and still they didn't have children and physically may not be able to now, and those are things that, that you may not be able to change, but there's so much that you can change. And being fearful, regretting, focusing on the things that you regret, they'll pop up. They still pop up for me. I still like, oh, college, and these different things. But if you get stuck in them, you won't be able to go forward and live out your dreams. When people tell me like, oh, that's so cool what you do, to me, I'm just doing it. But when it's validating for people to say what you're doing is cool, what you're doing is meaningful, to help you get through those things. Your circle helps. Having a supportive circle helps you not get stuck in regret. So yeah, when those thoughts pop up, look forward. What do I have left? What I'm saying? What can I do? What is available to me? What do I want to do? Who's there to help me? Because a lot of us have people that will help us, but we don't like to ask for help. So that's another aspect. Pride.
Sometimes it can be so humbling. And I saw this woman do a live one and talking about, sometimes when we ask for help, sometimes it's a kind of response we get. When we ask people to help us, we're like, can you help me? And they're like, well, girl, do you know all I can do with this information? I'm not going to give it to you. Sometimes our response So we have to realize that if the first person doesn't give us the response that we want, then we have to the second person, maybe the third. Yes. It may take 4 or 5, before you get the response that you want. And I love that, like each other. And I think now Black women and women in general are figuring out that we really are not an island, and that we've got to come together and collaborate, about that. If we're going to help each other move forward and help each other not run late at this time in our life. So, talk about collaboration. Do you do a lot of that?
I think since I started Seattle Naturals, that has been a huge help for me personally, just seeing how many amazing Black women I'm surrounded by that have the resources, the information, and willingly share that, willingly support each other. So inadvertently, in creating a natural group, I've just created a very supportive, inspiring network of people that I just really look up to and help me to, push myself forward.
Yes.
And we're very powerful. Black women, we're so powerful. We're very, 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 very powerful. And I think part of our issue is that we've become too self-sufficient on ourselves. I'll do it. I got me. And part of that is being let down or having so many no's that you just get, it creates another fear in asking for help. But there's great saying, all they can say is no will not kill you. Keep going until you get a yes. Keep going until you get somebody that is interested in helping you and working with you. Because they're there. They are there. They're around. Yep.
I agree. No, I agree with that. I think that's amazing because we forget that not everyone has the same heart. Which means that, there's always someone out there that's willing to open themselves up to you.
Right.
And, instead, there's so many of us that are willing.
Very willing.
We can't stop at the one. We can't stop at the one or the two or the three. Sometimes we're going to have to hit a few frogs, right? Before we get the princess.
Even to take a no personal, sometimes we take a personal and it's not, maybe they're busy chasing their dream and they don't necessarily have time, Just not taking it personal, not building a grudge for people, thinking that things are personal. Some people, they work better alone, or they're just on a part of their journey where they're not open, to that. But they're so, again, our network is so much bigger than I think we realize. And we have to learn how to connect with people who are not necessarily in our same. I was having this conversation the other day. Sometimes we can get into our, I only hang out with church people. I only hang out with sorority people, college educated people. I hang in this circle. I only hang out with, maybe people from the hood. I don't get along with them bougie women. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to, we have to cross lines and come together. And we're doing that, but just even more so because I personally have seen the power in it. And I don't care if you're a doctor, you're going to learn some from a brainer. You know what I'm saying? There's always something to learn or gain from each other. And it just builds growth. Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And, those variables are variables to consider. Someone may be at a different point in their journey. I love that. You saying basically that, hey, this person may not have the time. It's not that they don't have the heart. It's not that they really don't have the time. Between building business, having a family, cooking, cleaning, doing whatever we do, there's a lot to account for. Somebody sent something in my inbox about coming to some kind of conference. And one thing I said is, her question was, are you willing or can you invest the time? And I responded, no, ma'am, I can't, not in this season, but check back with me.
Right.
Right now, I can't make time for it because there's so much on my plate. And part of the reason is because I feel like I'm running late. I have to be honest with you. I feel like it's time, and I have to talk to myself. I mean, like, even as someone who's working on becoming a therapist, I have to talk to myself and say, hey, slow down. It's okay. Yeah. Time belongs to God. Mm-hmm. You're going to get there. Just give yourself a moment to get there. Because then you make so crazy decisions. And I think that's the other part of running late, that we begin to make decisions that are not so good. And then we begin connecting with people that don't have our best interest at heart. I mean, can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. Okay, yes. I think you said something important that I'm still learning, is learning to say no. Again, it's not personal, but sometimes, you can overextend yourself and set yourself back, So learning to say no and learning how to receive a no without the guilt and stigma is important. I'm working on the learning to say no. um, and it's not because I don't want to do these, things. Everything's, oh yes, I'm excited. I want to, but you can't always and be good at what you're doing. You can't have so much on your plate that you're only giving half, that you're doing subpar work and giving subpar time and attention. So that's really important. Learning to say no will propel you. When you clear your plate, it'll propel you to, I'm sorry, if you can hear that music.
No,
it will help free up your time to reach the goals that you're setting.
Yeah. You know what? And I think that's so key. You said something I know that has become something I've had to work through in my character on how to receive enough. And you're saying how to say no, but how to receive enough. What if the answer is enough?
Right.
Can you receive that graciously?
Right. Yeah, communicating that graciously. It can be hard. A lot of it depends on how the person receives it. You could say it as nice as possible, and they're gonna, they're gonna take it how they take it, and hopefully they're understanding. But not always. And it is what it is. You just do your part. Do your part. Treat people with respect always. But you have boundaries. You have to set boundaries around your goals and your dreams and your needs as well. So yeah, that's a really important part that I'm learning, that I struggle with a lot, but it's a learning process. Mm-hmm.
No, it is a learning process, and I think that when the generations don't see, the younger people don't get an opportunity to glean from that wisdom that you just said, because it'll take them a lot of time and being offended.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I wish I would have known that in my 20s.
Right, like, girl, you didn't tell me. Like, yeah, it's so true. Like, and I think that we have to talk about stuff like this. It's okay to talk about it. The makeup is great. We there's time for that. But we have a generation that's behind us, and we have even women that are right where we are that need to know that they can catch up. They can catch up, and that it's okay to collaborate, and it's okay to be there. It's okay to say no, and you're gonna have to learn how to know. But there's so much out there, and we can't close ourselves off to what you said earlier.
Right.
I think that's one of the things that we could participate in is sports sometimes. I mean, I feel like sometimes it's like the death of us. Because the people so in activity. Like, talk a little bit about that, the clicks and not being able to expand yourself beyond where you are.
I'm sorry, expand what?
Expand yourself beyond where you are.
Yes. I think that comes with a lot of confidence to trying new things, just kind of going into the unknown. I, at 40, have so much more confidence than I had at 20. And the thing that I would love to be able to give back, and communicate in a way that is understood and felt to women in their teens, 20s, even 30s, is just that confidence that it just kind of bloomed, and it's like, oh man, if I knew, I see, young women, and they're struggling with body image, and they're struggling with just so many insecurities. And at 40, I realized none of that means anything outside of what it means to yourself. And I wish I could convey that in a way that they understand, because a lot of times they just hear you speak and like, oh, okay.
Right.
Put it in your back pocket, because, like, if you can just hold on to that, it'll help. We have so many young people struggling with mental illness and insecurities that are severe. They don't want to be here sometimes. It's that heavy. And I just wish, like, oh, baby, like, give yourself some time. It's going to be it's going to be so great. You know what I'm saying? I don't know it all at 40. I look at women, you know, in their 60s, like, oh man, she got it. Like she's just there mentally, spiritually, just, you can see them glowing down the street, you know? And it's like, I'm trying to get there, but where I am, I would love to be able to encourage someone to get to the level of confidence and that I am right now in their 20s. Like, because you'd be so much more powerful when we're not dragging ourselves down with the insecurities and the fear and the regrets, you know? Things happen, keep on moving, keep going, you know, keep going.
And I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. It's so crazy to me that sometimes we find that our power is absent, or it's somehow missing from the inventory. It's not in the place we're supposed to be. You know, we find other things that are very toxic, and we don't have confidence in the things that encourage, uplift, and inspire us. You know, and so I love what you're doing in Seattle Naturals, because I posted in the group before about needing a braidist when it was time to get a braidist, and just the support and the feedback that I got there was just needed. People were very open. So I love the environment that you're fostering there. And that's so good. I want to, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your company. Go ahead and tell us what we can find you, if you have a website, and give us some final thoughts.
Okay. So Seattle Naturals, we're on Facebook. We're about 14,000 strong now. And yeah, just hit the ad and I'll go ahead and put you in the group. Anybody's interested, is natural hair community and networking. And then Fambilli Designs, also on Facebook, spelled Phambilli Designs. And we're on Facebook and Instagram, and working on a website. But Facebook and Instagram is where you can find us.
Okay. Well, Jeannie, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for lending your point of view. It's always really good. And I didn't know we had so much in common with the teenage mothering and, you know, having kids and understanding what that dynamic is like, and you being in the medical field. And I love that. So thank you so much for joining me. You have an amazing Sunday, and we definitely have to do it again. Well, we're going to talk about hair care, because I'm telling you, for the life of me, every Black woman is almost natural unless they went got them a perm from Walgreens. And if you were able to hold out on getting a perm like I was, because I almost did it, you were having a time with the hair, okay?
Yeah, this is the first time I've done my hair in like a month.
You look great. Listen, I'm talking about somebody who is not even used to it, you know, getting used to seeing herself not with a perm, you know, and how to embrace that. So we're going to come back and let you talk about that. So thank you so much, Dream, for joining me, and you have a great
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
This is a blessing, Coffee. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. You're welcome. So you guys, listen, I love some of the things that Dreamy had to say, because I think that when you talk about running late and, you know, being left behind, we don't give enough consideration to that. We just don't give enough consideration for that. You know, we can talk about the youth and what have you, but I truly, truly, truly believe that when it comes to us, that we also have to consider us older people, the people between 35 and 55. And I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. That is the age range where I hear a lot of people talk about their regrets. Some people won't embrace this technical world that we're in. Some people feel like it's so much to learn. It's so many avenues. There's just too much. It's overwhelming. And so because of that, they feel like they just can't catch up. And so therefore, they don't participate in society. Now, I'm not saying by any means you have to be on social media to participate in society. But what I am saying is that it's a part of society, and at least embrace it so that you know about it, right? And so some people have chosen not to do that. They're just very obstinate. And so because of that, they feel like there's this big divide between them and the rest of the world, when really there's not. Really there's not. And so for me, when it comes to this topic about running late, it's an insecurity that I constantly have to deal with, because I'm just now discovering the fact that I'm good at this. And I'm just now discovering the fact that I'm good at that. And I have the guts now to do it. Come on, you guys, think about that. There was a time you probably didn't have the guts to do what you wanted to do. You probably didn't have the guts to believe you are who you are. You probably didn't have the guts to say, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. Now you do. And you're like, what the heck? Do I have enough time to do this? Listen, like I said with Drini, time belongs to God. You got time. You got time to perfect the art. But what I want you to do, and even Drini was saying, we both agree, try something. Don't just sit there and say, time has passed me by. I've had these children. Even for men, I've had to dedicate my life perhaps to a sick parent, because that's another thing that people sometimes get left behind. They feel left behind. Sickness sometimes will hold you behind. Sickness will stop you dead in your tracks. So you don't complete what you thought you were going to complete, and in the time that you thought you were going to complete it. So some people just automatically feel like it's too much time. I've been sick. I can't move forward. And like Drini was saying, that's the quicksand. The regret and the guilt, that's the quicksand. And I'm inviting you, 35 to 55, to really, really, really grasp the fact that you are valuable even at this age. Even at this age. One thing about me being in my 40s, I am not competing with anybody in their 20s and 30s. I would not go back there for nothing, because at this age, there's such a foundation, there's such a grounding in who I am as a woman and as a person that I don't think at 20 and 30 I had. Now, like I said, 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds have a lot more self-agency and a lot more confidence, and they have the avenues to be a lot more outspoken than we did back in the 80s and 90s babies. So I'm just saying, you're not running late. Remember, you can catch up. I just want you to really, if you remember nothing else from this broadcast, there are going to be reasons why people feel like they're too late for their purpose. They're too late for their destiny. It ranges anywhere from sickness to incarceration, entangled in toxic relationships, making bad decisions, suffering from negative self-talk. We talked about that earlier, discouragement, financial devastation, being lonely, a lack of resources, distraction, and even teenage pregnancy. And then many people feel like, I can't come back from that. I can't come back from that. And I'm going to tell you here today, Lady J is telling you, you can come back from that. You can come back from the time that bad decision took from your life. You can come back from being a teenage mother. No, you can't erase it. But what you can do is embrace the lessons that they gave you, that situation gave you, and the resiliency that it built in you. And you can go get this thing and conquer and do and be amazing and great. I love in therapy how people tell me resiliency is it's a characteristic. It's this thing that's so amazing. I never knew about that. As a Black woman, I didn't know that what we were was resilient. But I've learned that our resilience is amazing. Our resilience is the reason why we've made it as far as we have without therapy. I'm not saying we didn't need it, and I'm a component. I am a pro. I am for therapy. But what I'm saying is, before we knew we had an option, we knew how to fight and get through something. Can somebody say amen? Amen. We knew how to stick in something. We knew how to bear down and make it happen. There were skills that we learned that therapists are trying to get their patients to do now. So I want to just tell you, if you are a person of color at any junction, Black woman or Black man, I just want to let you know that your resiliency is a very prized commodity. It is a prized commodity. And let me tell you, people are dying because they don't have the resiliency that you do. I didn't even understand it. When people would talk about slaves, I didn't get it. I didn't understand the ability to make it through a beating was called resiliency. I just thought that was something they had to do. But when I learned that being able to make it through being beat on your back, or being raped, as unpleasant as it is, or racism, as much as we have to endure in 2020, all of that stuff, it was building in us, African American women, men, the ability to make it over what most people can't even get out of bed to do. You hear me on today. So I am telling you now, if you felt like you're running behind, you felt like you're running late, you've been left behind, listen, you can catch up. I'm just asking you as Lady J, one, the first thing to move forward is to what? Try something. I need you to pick something that has moved you in the present, past, or you think you love, and try it. Just try it. Just give it a chance. Give it a chance. Put it on a time frame, okay? 30 to 60 days, and just give it a chance. But let me tell you, don't just give it any chance. You give it 100%. You give you 100%. Whatever you decide to try, don't you give yourself 20, don't give yourself 30, and don't give yourself permission to fail. You give yourself 100%. You hear me on today? Because even if you're 35 to 55, and I'm speaking specifically to this age range for a reason, you are valuable. And you still got time to be amazing. Do you hear what I'm telling you on today? You need to know that. I love that, Celeste. To endure is to survive. Walk into your destiny. Absolutely. And we need to know that. Dreamy, my guest earlier, was saying that some Black women feel invisible. And that 35 to 45, 35 to 55 age range is where that invisibility is happening. Not feeling pretty enough, not feeling cute enough, in competition with everything and everybody. It's just something we're going through. It's something that's in the society. It's in the air. And I'm telling you, I see it. I see it. And I'm just inviting you to understand how absolutely spot on you are and how you got time to make your dreams come true. So I want you to try something. And then while you're trying something, you're going to discover a whole lot of stuff, cool stuff. Come on now. I'm talking about the bomb stuff about who you are, what you're able to do. You're going to begin to understand why you think the way you think, why you speak the way you speak, why you walk the way you walk, why you style your hair the way you style your hair. Come on. You're going to begin to understand the color that you love best. You're going to get to understand the best pair of shoes that you have, the reason why you love them. You're going to understand why you love this pair of jeans so much. That's what's going to happen in the discovery phase. What I want you to do is discover. Allow yourself to discover. We as African Americans haven't given ourselves the permission to discover. I love when people talk about, I love when people talk about how other races of parents allow their children to just go around and mess up the room and throw things against the wall and do this and do that. Because what they're doing is they're saying they're just giving them time to be themselves. Well, I'm inviting you, even if you're 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, I'm inviting you to just mess up the room and just throw stuff against the wall. Just throw it against the wall, okay? Just throw it against the wall. It's okay. You can clean it up. Okay. I love that, Yvette. Like wine, we get better with time. I love that. Just throw it against the wall. I just want you to take the precautions, take all the precautions and just let it go. Lolinda said discovery is often the best medicine when you're doubting yourself. Absolutely. So take the time to discover. That's it. And there are no rules to that, except making sure that it doesn't hurt you and it doesn't hurt anybody else. But other than that, that's the only thing I want you to do. So number one, try something and give it a time frame, 30 to 60 days. I want you to discover something And I want you to focus. Remember when I was talking about giving yourself 100%? I want you to focus. Listen, the only way that you're going to truly be able to catch up, and let me give you a secret about this catch up thing that I'm saying. Catching up isn't really about everybody else. It's about your expectations of you. Most of the time, what we're catching up to is our own validation, our ability to validate ourselves. That's what we're catching up to. We often think it's seeing someone else's beautiful social media photos or hearing someone else's gracious wisdom. And yeah, sometimes we can get caught up in that. But if we go beneath that and really go to the root, the issue is that, guess what? We're really catching up to our own expectations. Because most of us as men and women, little bitty people, we had all of these dreams and they didn't come true. So now we disappointed ourselves, if we really just be honest, some of us, and really we're just trying to catch up so that we can like ourselves again. That's really what's happening with some of us. We're just trying to like ourselves again. We're trying to find a way to stomach who we are. You know, in becoming a therapist, I get to hear so many different variations of this. And people sit down and really what they're trying to do is stomach their decisions, stomach where they're going, and stomach where they are. Because of so many reasons under the sun. So you guys, I just want you to be able to take the time to focus. Give yourself 100%. And focus in on whatever it is that you're trying. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. And after you focus, I want you to plan. I want you to plan for success. I want you to plan to fail. I want you to plan to achieve. I want you to plan for the people that may not support you. I want you to plan for the people that will support you. I want you to plan for the times that you're going to make $1 million and the time that you're going to fall in the red because you had to spend all your money and nobody bought a thing. I want you to plan. I want you to plan for it all. Listen to me. I just want you to get some popcorn. I want you to sit down. I just want you to pop in the tape and I just want you to plan for it all because it all could happen. But one thing's for sure, it can't take you out. So I want you to give yourself the permission to make it. And then I want you to give yourself the permission to fight when necessary. You know, everybody want to say, you know, confrontation is not, you know, it's not pleasant. And confrontation can be unpleasant, but it's absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary when you have to tell the truth. And I'd much rather live in a very confrontational truth than to live in a comfortable lie, because that's more dangerous. So listen, I'm talking to the 35 to 55 group exclusively now. You guys, you're valuable. I get it. We didn't do it when we were supposed to. Teenage mother at 17. Graduated high school, didn't go to college. I made sure she did. But then I started to realize that I wasn't dead and that I had dreams I wanted to accomplish. So I'm inviting you right now to set in. I want you to lock in. You guys, I'm going to take a commercial break. I'm going to come back with my final thoughts. So stay right there.
My nails and manicured feet, perfect. Stopping people without a word spoken, just to take a peek. And my arched eyebrows gives for a grand look, style chic. I am still a lady.
I can't let me be great. Sabotage. Not tall enough. Not happy enough. I'm not fulfilled enough. So you guys, listen, this is my final thought on today. And I love what Lolinda said. Lolinda said, I am planning to exceed in all the ways that those who said I wouldn't succeed in life. I love that. Can you put that? Can you pin that comment? And I just want you to know, Lolinda, you have the time to do it. I just know what it's like to be suffocated in a whole bunch of doubt, and to be suffocated in a whole bunch of I shoulda, woulda, couldas, and a whole bunch of regret, anger, bitterness, frustration, disappointment, you name it. I know what it's like to feel it. And it can really like snuff the very life out of you if you allow it to. And so I just want you guys to know, even from doing this talk show, I didn't know that I had it in me. I didn't know I had it in me. I didn't know that I had it in me to be an artist. I didn't know. I grew up watching everyone, and I don't, even the kind of artist I am is different. So it's already, challenging on thinking you don't know what you can be and then creating something totally different. I just want to encourage, I can't say it enough. Someone needs to hear 35 to 55 that you're still worth a whole lot. You're still valuable. You're still precious. You're still beautiful. You're still amazing. I just want you to sit in that comment. I want you to sit in the accolades. I want you to sit in the embrace that I'm extending with my voice and with my heart right now, that you're capable. Don't let that mistake define you. Don't let the toxic relationship derail your progress. Come on, get focused with me. Try something. Don't just sit there. Move forward. Come on, I need you. We need you. Do you hear me on today? We need you. Do you hear me on today? We need you. Please don't go to the grave with your talents, your gifts, and your abilities. We need you. Teenage pregnancy, been there, done that. I'm still here. Come on. We can't be these amazing mothers and fathers and raise all these amazing, creative, and beautiful people and not be the same people that gave birth to them and not have some of that. We're the originators. You hear me on today? For as wonderful as you think your children are, who do you think gave birth to that? You did. Whether you're upset with the mama or you're upset with the dad, it doesn't even matter at this point. You know what matters is that what's in them came from you. And if they got it, then you got it. You just need to show them how to do it even better. Listen, don't fail. Don't fall. Don't give up. I'm just inviting you to keep going and give it all you got. You hear me on today? Give it all you got. Give it all you got, you guys. Whew, okay. I'm glad I got that out. I just needed you guys to know. Sometimes I need to be reminded. My final thought is I remember when The Voice had an age limit on those who could come and sing. And you never really think about why they would need an age limit on singing talent. But then after a while, they had to take those parameters off because guess what? They still figured out that dynamic talent are laying dormant in vessels that are a lot older than 27. And people will still pay money to go see Mary J. Blige as much as they would pay money to go see Beyonce. Do you hear me on today? There's still value in who we are. And just because we are the age that we are, that didn't die. It isn't dead. Thank you, Lolinda. I couldn't have said it better. Failure is not an option. So you guys, I love you on today. I want you to know how sincere that is. I love you on today. Real quick, you guys, I have 2 books. One is called It's Okay to Be a Good Girl. This book is such a good encouragement to our younger people and our older people. And it's okay to be a good girl. It's about being a woman that is able to say yes and mean it and say no and mean it. This is about being okay with having morals and values in this 20th century. You guys, this is a great book for teenagers. Mothers have bought this book and told me it's amazing. It's under my writer's name, Arthur J.W. You can find it on Amazon as well as ladyjspeaks.com. I messed that totally up. Totally up. ladyjtmp.com. Hope Exposed is another book. This is my first release. This is talking about hope in a whole nother way. That's on Amazon, you guys. It's only for digital release right now. So you can go download the book digitally and check it out. It's freaking amazing. Talking about hope being a commodity that we don't use, that God has given us this commodity called hope, and we've neglected to employ it. And so it talks about how to employ your hope so that it works and produce the results and give you the monetary value and give you the spiritual value that you're supposed to be getting from it. So I want you guys to check out those 2 reads. And once again, I thank y'all so much for joining me on your Sunday afternoon. I know there's so much you could have been doing. Also, Lady J, the Musical Portraits, is available on all digital outlets, Spotify, iTunes. Check it out. I'm getting ready to undergo a new project I'm so excited about. But this one, my very first one, I'm telling you, it's amazing. Self-sabotage. Oh goodness, come and get it. Some of my favorite cuts is on this album. I think you'll love the poetry. You'll love the musical production, produced by A-Flat, Alan Hunter, my husband, none other, and it's amazing. So you guys go check it out. Listen, thank y'all so much for joining Lady J Speaks. I want you guys to tune in next week at 3 p.m. We're going to have a new topic, but thank you. And you guys watch this on the playback. Send this to somebody who's in our age range and tell them that they're valuable today and tell them that they still should keep going, encourage them. Listen, it's not just the youth that need encouragement on today. It's us, because I'm telling you, sometimes, like Drini was talking about, we can feel invisible. And there's nothing worse than feeling like we're invisible. Okay, you guys, I love you on today. And thank you so much for joining me on Lady J Speaks. Be blessed.